reasons to build an ugly website for your studio. Let's jump right in and get started. So an ugly website design is like shaker style furniture. Let me explain. It's simple, functional, timeless, and always still in demand, okay? So that's how we're going to approach this. So hi, I'm Rachel with wordsthatsellclasses.com. I write program descriptions that sell spots in class. So what I do is I use words that compel parents to buy. So let's get started with our countdown to number 1 reason. And we're going to start with reason number 4. Here we go. So the number 4 reason, the fancier it is, the more time it takes to load. So the more images, especially if they're not compressed, the more images and videos and things that are on your website, the longer it takes to load. It may also affect the ability of your website to look nice, both on mobile and desktop. It needs to load in about 4 seconds or less. Longer than that, and your bounce rate will go up because people are going to head to your website. And I mean, my goodness, we have such short attention spans and we have become so impatient as a people. So less than 4 seconds is great for a website load time. Now let's move on to number 3 in our countdown. Beautiful websites are often distracting, and confused people, they don't buy. So it may be attractive to look at with things moving all over the place and beautiful images and videos, but it may not be clear what it is that might compel them to come to this website. Like, what's in it for me? Why am I on this website? What am I going to benefit from it? I mean, yeah, it's attractive. There's lots of interesting imagery, but as a general rule, people are short on time and they have come there for a specific reason. So let's move on to reason number 2. It's a time vampire. So especially if you do it yourself, or if you like to make frequent website updates, which I have discovered in the service industry, frequent updates are kind of important. So it can become a time vampire. For every one of those decorative elements that you add to your site, the more work it takes to make it look nice on both desktop and mobile. And then also too, as you do updates, things start to get kind of wonky and move around and get bumped down and things like that. So the updates themselves are more time consuming. Now, if those changes convert to sales, that might be a valid use of your time. However, if your website is beautiful but not functional, and if your time is just getting sucked by your website because you have all of these different elements that you have to manage, then that is not worth it for you. All right, here we go. We're coming up on the number 1 reason for an ugly website. Okay, here we go. A beautiful website can bypass the primary goal for your website, whereas an ugly website or a shaker style simple website is very functional. You get money, or more softly put, enroll more students. That's your goal for your website, right? Like you're not running a hobby here. So you're trying to make a profit and pay yourself well because you deserve it, because you work so hard as a studio boss. So let's look a little bit more like that. So what does that website funnel look like? So we're talking about websites that are meant to drive sales. That's your primary goal for having a website. You are not putting in all that time just so people have something nice to look at, right? You need to make sales and increase your enrollment. So you're going to get 3 types of visitors at your site. How will you get more money from each of those types of visitors with one website? And what does that funnel or flow look like for our first type of customer or visitor? And that's the returning customer. Here's what they need to do. They need to make a payment. So they already know what you're about. They just need to hop in, do what they need to do, hop back out. They're not interested in your photo carousel, unless, of course, their child is in it. Do you have a payment or login, or, there's different ways of phrasing that, but do you have that button that appears before the fold? And what I mean by that is when they hop on, do they see where they can make a payment or, hop back into enrollment with, but without having to scroll down? So you want to make sure that you've got that on your site. And what does that funnel or flow look like for the warm visitor? So your warm visitor is the person whose friend takes the Thursday class and now they want to sign up too. They might need a little bit of information like the cost, the policies, that sort of thing. But most of all, they need to instinctively know where to go to register. And so you want to ask yourself if your registration link is super easy to find, easy to follow, and crystal clear. Quick story. Just this past week for summer camp, I was going to sign my youngest child up for camp at a place where I have actually consulted and worked. And so I happen to know the owner of the facility. Great facility. But I'm hopping on the website. I could not immediately find the camp on the registration form. I almost just didn't even sign my child up. And that's how lazy we are as creatures, right? And I was like, wait a minute, whoa. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to text her and I'll be like, okay, what did I miss? Where's the camp? And of course she was like, go ahead, come on in. But that's just a quick example of how we are as buyers, where we want to see it, click on it, and be done. So make sure that particular element, that registration link, super easy to follow, as few steps as possible, and super crystal clear and instinctive. So what does that funnel or flow look like for the cold visitor? Now, your cold visitor, they don't know you. They found you on Google. They need, when they get to your website, to instantly know how your program will meet their needs, right? So they need to know what you are when they get there. So it's got to be crystal clear and concise. They're also going to visit 3 other websites. So keep in mind, you're not the only one. They are going to do a search for other different types of instruction, different opportunities. They're going to at least 3 other websites, probably in that same block of time as they are visiting your website. They need an opportunity to get to know you. They need to be converted from that cold market to a warm market. And just so you guys know, they need to do that like right now. So you need to have that quick, what's in it for me tagline, phrase, slogan. It could even be the name of, if the name of your business is super crystal clear, then that might do the trick. You may not need any extra verbiage in that regard. So they need to quickly know who you are, what's in it for me. If I am looking for a dance school, are you a dance school? And it may be that your name does that for them. You don't have to have anything extra. They need pertinent information that is easy to find, like your schedule that applies to them. If you've got 10 different programs, then you need to find a way to simplify that, either a button that says, my child is, whatever, you click on that button and it takes you to all the classes for that age group, or I'm interested in cheerleading. So if you've got cheerleading, ninja, gymnastics, dance, and martial arts all at one facility, then you could break that down by the different category, because it can be overwhelming for people who are coming to your website and they're like, whoa, okay, I could spend like 3 hours trying to figure out what it is that I want to buy. So make sure that that pertinent information is super easy to find. Either break it down by age so that they can search by age or category of the program, whatever works best for your particular offerings. So they also need a way to interact with you right now. The best time to make a sale is when somebody wants to buy, right? So they are on your website. So let's make sure that there's a way for them to interact, to follow up, to get warmed up right then and there. So an ugly website example, I'm going to show you on the next slide, offers more function than it does beauty and design and that sort of complicated thing. So this is for an art school. And it's an art school. So here, of course, this is just a mock-up, but here we know exactly what this is. We are at an art school website, and let's think about that returning student. Here we go. We've got a tab button right up here. I'm a returning student. I know what's up, and I'm going to click on the button, and I'm going to go get things taken care of. So now let's think about our second type of visitor, and that is the warm visitor who already knows about you, but they might need a little bit more information. So it's super easy to find your register button. And then also, if they want to try the class, find a class so they can get right there online, go to your event schedule, super quick, get a spot in a class, try it out if they're kind of, on the fence. And so that's a great way to do that. And then what about our cold market that found you on Google? So there's a couple of options here before the fold. Without having to scroll down on your website, they can try a class. So they can go ahead and do that super quick. And there's also an option here to chat. Now, you don't have to be on chat 24/7. You're not going to be tied to your computer. But what most of these chat additions do on websites is if you are not within those regular chat hours, if you're not sitting there by the chat, it will get the person's email and then go ahead and send you a message, and then you can reply at your convenience. So even if you're not tied to your computer 24/7, it's a great thing to have the chat, because then you're going to pull that email address. They can go ahead and contact you right then. And you can also, in most cases, set up autoresponders that will send them, general information while they're waiting for you to personally respond. All right, guys. So that's it for this particular video. Feel free to send me questions, Rachel@wordsthatsellclasses.com. If you're interested in more topics, go to wordsthatsellclasses.com and then click on blog in the menu, or you can watch all of my blog posts on YouTube as well. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.